What are you trying to get at?
What language did Jesus speak?
I understand where you about to try to lead that to. That's not relevant.
1 second. I'll be right back. Sorry, I had to get my utensils. You just said that everything you know about Jesus comes from the Quran. Okay. What language did Jesus speak, Liam?
You claim that he spoke Greek. You claim that he spoke Hebrew. And Aramaic.
I didn't claim anything.
I've heard you make that claim.
Stop trying to jump out the pot. Stay in there. Stop trying to jump out the pot. What language did Jesus speak?
What's the argument for today? Why do Muslims dislike Paul?
Oh,
you finally switched it up, man. That's what's up.
I try to be versatile, man. You know, try to throw in a little new ones.
I'm proud of you, man. You trying to come with more arguments, but I'll be even more proud if you say your shahada. But yeah, why do we dislike Paul?
You know what? I'll say my shahada if you can give good and consistent reasons why you dislike Paul, as long as they don't backfire.
Oh yeah. Well, number one, kind of like the last guy was saying, who is Paul? Like, how do we even know? We don't really know much about Paul. We actually don't know nothing about Paul outside of the Bible. Not at all. Like who's his parents?
Why does that matter?
Tell me his mother or his father's name?
No, why does that matter?
Because I mean, whenever, like, for example, if I said God Logic said this,
mm-hmm.
and it's just a claim, it'd be like, how you know God Logic said that?
How does knowing my mom and dad's name verify what I said or didn't say?
So it's to verify that person that's taking this information actually knows this person and is a firsthand witness account.
What does that still is not telling me anything. Knowing the name of my mother and father does not validate or invalidate what I say today. Like if you ask somebody, if they said, oh yeah, Avery said this, and you say, oh, okay, well, who is Avery actually? Like, what's his mom and dad's name? And they don't know. Does that invalidate that I said what they said I said?
No. But realistically, it would be more so and so said this about so and so was witness God Logic saying this. Then it would be like, okay, how do you know God Logic?
Yeah.
Did you watch him on TikTok?
Yeah.
Did you meet him in person?
Yeah. Can somebody know me without knowing my mom and dad?
Yeah. Well, that was just an example I gave of his mom and dad, but
it's the first thing you brought up about Paul.
It's more than just. Yeah. No. So it's more than just that.
Okay. But, so let's throw that out then. Let's throw knowledge of parents is out the window from now on. And I hope that the rest of the Muslims hear this. This is a silly thing to bring up when it comes to knowing if somebody said something or not. So what is the real problem that you have with Paul?
Well, of course, one, that, but number two,
you said one,
I don't agree that
I thought we threw that out.
You threw it out. I still take that as substantial. I feel like that's something substantial.
Okay, so
for you to make claims.
You have to show me then. You have to show me that that's substantial. Show me that.
I'll concede to that.
Okay, so it's out the window.
I'll come with better evidence towards that later.
So then it's out the window for now?
I concede to that for now.
All right, so it's out the window. All right, go ahead. What's number one then? Give me something.
Yeah, so number one, I don't believe Paul ever met Jesus.
Okay.
And
let's go with that. You ain't even got to continue.
Yep.
Paul didn't meet Jesus. So Paul not meeting Jesus, does that make him unreliable?
It doesn't make him unreliable as a person, but if he speaks on Jesus and he never met Jesus, then that makes him unreliable.
Got it. So it doesn't mean that he's unreliable personally, but if he speaks on Jesus, right, says that Jesus said things or taught certain things or whatever, but never met him himself, then that would mean he's unreliable pertaining to Jesus. Gotcha.
Correct.
All right. So let's just go with that. Did Muhammad meet Jesus?
Yes.
Muhammad met Jesus.
Mm-hmm. You want me to tell you when?
When did Muhammad meet Jesus? On the night journey?
You got it. I didn't even have to tell you. I'm proud of you. Alhamdulillah. You be doing your studying. Good job. Good job. He met all the prophets. You want me to give you an example? Watch this.
No, it's all good. It's all good. You got it. He met him in the night journey.
Did Jesus meet Moses?
It's all good. Yes, actually. But
thank you.
No, but Jesus actually met Moses while he was here on earth.
But you also claim that, you claim that as believing that he's the God of the Old Testament, sure, okay, that's cool.
In the New
But
Testament,
there's stories,
in
yes,
the, in,
but
the, in the New
yes, in
Testament,
the New Testament, Moses and what was it, Aaron appeared to him.
Elijah.
Yeah. You get it.
Mhm.
So he appeared. But Moses was
he
dead.
met Jesus.
But Moses was not alive at that time.
No, God is the
So-
God of the living, not the dead. Abraham, all of them, they're alive with God. Just like how the Quran says that the martyrs are alive with Allah, they're not dead.
Yes, they're alive in another realm, but as of an earthly realm,
They're not
Jesus was on earth when Jesus was on earth when he said that they appeared. So did they come down from heaven and appear on earth?
Yeah.
So the prophets could come down from heaven and appear on earth?
Yeah, by the power of God, yeah.
Wait, time out. So any of the prophets at any time can appear on earth.
Yeah, if God wants them to. Yeah.
What would be the need of that?
There's no need for him to do anything. He could do that if he wants to, right?
But why would he want his prophet? First of all, why would the prophet do that? Because they already completed their job.
Well, I'm showing you that you have the disciples that are there witnessing Jesus. So this is their first time witnessing the glory of Jesus. And they're even witnessing Muhammad and Elijah coming to him, submitting to him. And then the voice from heaven, the Father, who declares that that's his son who they should listen to. So all of this is for the benefit, not of Jesus or anybody else. It's for the disciples that are there to show that, this is the one.
Okay, got you. Okay, understood. So
wait, I have a question.
What's your So what's your opposition to the night journey then? If you accept that,
I don't have one.
What is your opposition?
Well, I don't accept it, but let's just go with it.
No, I'm saying if you accept that Elijah and Moses appeared, if you accept that, why do you oppose the prophet going to heaven and talking to them? You don't oppose the prophets being on earth.
You're not listening to me, bro. I don't. I'm not opposing you. I'm actually going with you. So if you're saying that Muhammad met Jesus on the night journey, which,
correct,
as theists and spiritually, miraculously, maybe that could happen. We should have no problem with that type of stuff. So then I would say, then you shouldn't oppose Paul meeting Jesus when he was on his way to Damascus.
This is where I oppose that.
Why?
Number one, Isa Ibn Maryam.
I don't know who that is, but
I don't know who Jesus is because it's Iesus in the 1611, and then
I don't know who
Yeshua, and I'm not even gonna go through all that. But anyways, I'm not about to go through all that. But anyways, you get the idea. But anyways, a prophet leaving this planet, God ascended him, and we understand that he's not to come back until he is needed to come back again. Come on, he's not to come back until the day of judgment.
Look, Liam, please, you explaining the night journey and your interpretation of that is irrelevant here. You believe that in some miraculous realm, some spiritual thing took place to where that allowed Muhammad to meet the rest of the prophets. Fine. You don't even have to interpret the deepness of that. You can have it.
Okay.
So just deal with, if you accept that, why do you oppose Paul meeting Jesus on his way to Damascus?
Got you. Okay, so we both accept something miraculous could happen. All right. So the reason I oppose that is because the way that you will understand if this person's being truthful or not is because from the sustenance of what they're speaking. So Paul,
you don't deny that Paul could have met Jesus on the road to Damascus. You only go against him meeting Jesus because you don't believe what Paul taught.
Well, Paul, according to the Bible, which of course I don't accept it as an authority, but according to the Bible, it says things that, like for example, Jesus, he spoke in parables. Paul never mentioned that. That's not a denial of Jesus speaking in parables. Liam. No, come on, man.
But
what I'm saying is, if Paul, if Paul claims that he,
before you continue, look, Liam. So now it sounds like, so at first the issue was Paul didn't meet Jesus, and now we see that that's not really an issue. The issue is now switching to, well, it's what Paul taught. It's what Paul taught. Okay. So Paul says that he met Jesus, right? But doesn't mention that Jesus taught in parables. So that makes him unreliable. Is that correct?
So you kind of misrepresented my point. I'm not saying that I'm not granting that he met Jesus. I'm saying that what he taught makes me believe that he never met Jesus.
I know. So we have this claim from both sides. Muhammad claims that he met Jesus. Paul claims that he met Jesus. Okay. And so you're showing me why you believe one, but not the other. So we have the claim from Paul. However, you don't believe Paul actually met Jesus because, boom, because he doesn't mention, if he met Jesus, he would have mentioned that when Jesus was here, he taught in parables, but Paul never said anything about that. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay. Muhammad also says that he met Jesus. Jesus spoke in parables. Does Muhammad mention that Jesus spoke in parables?
Muhammad didn't. I'm not going to speak on everything that he said about that because I don't know everything surrounding that. But what I do know is I don't know about him having a full conversation with Jesus in that night journey. But I'm not going to speak on that because I don't have knowledge on that. But what I speak on is what Allah has taught us about Jesus, or what I believe Allah taught us about Jesus.
Well, I'm confused here. Okay. I'm confused here. Paul didn't mention how Jesus taught in parables, yet he met him. Muhammad also, I guess the answer is no, right? Muhammad didn't mention that Jesus taught in parables. Is that correct?
I don't have knowledge on that. I do not have knowledge on that, so I'm not going to give you a answer.
From what you don't know of any mention of Muhammad saying that Jesus taught in parables, right?
I haven't read all the hadith on it, so I don't know.
I know that. I'm just asking. I'm not going to say. I'm just asking based on what you do know. Based on what you do know, there is no mention of Muhammad saying that Jesus taught in parables from what you know so far, right?
Sure. Yeah, I haven't read anything of that yet.
No worries. So you have Muhammad, who doesn't say that Jesus taught in parables. You have Paul, who doesn't mention how Jesus taught in parables. You said that this makes Paul's claim of his experience meeting Jesus false. So then, likewise, it would make Muhammad's claim of meeting Jesus false, right? If we're consistent.
So I wouldn't say that necessarily. Because number one, like I said, I do not know all the circumstances surrounding the meeting of Jesus. I just know that he did meet Jesus along the way. I do not know everything surrounding it, but everything that I learned from Jesus, I don't get from the prophet. I get it from the Quran and what I believe God is speaking directly of him. So when God says that he is a Muslim, God knows everything. So that's what I understand. I know Paul doesn't know everything.
I got you.
Paul could have been hallucinating. God.
And Muhammad could have been hallucinating too, right?
No.
So you and I like the chuckle there. I like the chuckle because Liam, I think you're smart enough to see your double standards. See, notice how, Liam, I haven't even refuted anything you've said about Muhammad, right? I haven't said anything. I haven't gone against it in any way. All I've done was just apply your own logic back to Muhammad to see if you would be consistent. And every time I do, you flip-flop and you show your double standard. Can you at least be honest with me and say and acknowledge that you do see the double standard that you're applying here?
No, I do understand where you're coming from. I understand the angle that you're coming from, and you're saying, okay, if you believe this, why don't you believe that? I understand the angle that you're coming from. But it's more to it than just those things. It's all of these things all combined.
But we see
together.
Okay, good. But here it is. We see all of these things combined together, these accusations and these problems that you have with Paul. All of these things combined together can be also applied to Muhammad. But you're not willing to apply them to Muhammad. You're only willing to apply them to Paul. And that's where the inconsistency and the double standard is being exposed. That's what I'm doing. I'm saying that if you're going to say Paul is unreliable and false for all of these reasons combined, then you have to say Muhammad is false for all of those same reasons combined.
Not necessarily. And I'm not really trying to speak on the prophet. I'm just trying to speak on what I understand of Paul. Not really trying to speak on Islam itself, but
this whole point. Look, I showed you my hand. My whole hand and my cards. The reason for this topic is to expose Muhammad and expose y'all's beliefs in Muhammad. I'm showing you that your accusations against Paul actually work against Muhammad. So if you're going to say that Paul is a false messenger, a false prophet, a false teacher, unreliable for the reasons that you give, then you have to say Muhammad is false and unreliable for those same reasons. That's my point.
Well, it also it's more to that. Like, for example, Paul's character, he openly admits to being a liar. He openly admits to having a thorn of Satan being in his flesh. He openly admits to robbing the churches blind. He openly admits to being a Jew to those who are Jews for them to.
One at a time, Liam. One at a time. Okay. You're cooking right now. So now it has switched over. We see the accusation against Paul's claim of having a spiritual experience compared to Muhammad's claim of having an experience, a spiritual experience. And the reasons why Liam here doesn't believe Paul, but believes Muhammad, those same reasons are the same reasons why he can't believe Muhammad actually met Jesus and had a spiritual experience. But in short, Liam says, I'm not trying to bring the
prophet into it. No, I'm not trying to bring the prophet into it.
You have no choice.
What I know of Jesus comes from the Quran.
Really? What language did Jesus speak? What language did he speak?
What are you trying to get at?
What language did Jesus speak?
I understand where you about to try to lead that to. That's not relevant.
Whoa.
That's like me asking you. Time out. That's like me asking you, what language did Adam speak? What language did Adam speak?
1 second. I'll be right back. Sorry, I had to get my utensils. What language did he speak? What language did he speak?
Bro, you making all that noise, bro.
I'm just trying to, because I'm stirring it. I'm cooking. I just gotta.
Anyway.
What language did he speak?
That is not relevant. It doesn't matter. That does not matter to a person like me.
Can I tell you why it matters? Because you just said that everything you know about Jesus and everything you learn from Jesus comes from the Quran. Okay, let's see if that actually holds. What language did Jesus speak, Liam?
You claim that he spoke Greek. You claim that he spoke Hebrew. And Aramaic.
I didn't claim anything.
I've heard you make that claim.
Stop trying to jump out the pot. Stay in there. What?
But for example,
language, Liam, stop trying to jump out the pot. What language did Jesus speak?
I understand where you're gonna go. You're gonna say, "Oh, the Quran doesn't tell you that." Okay,
I didn't say that.
But
what language did Jesus speak?
The language that the Hebrews spoke at that time, Aramaic. Or that the Jews spoke at that time, Aramaic.
Is that in your Quran?
Come on, bro.
Is that in your Quran?
I just told you your argument before you said it.
Very good. Is it in the Quran?
No. The people around him spoke that language.
Wow. So where do you get it from, actually, Liam? Where do you get it from that Jesus spoke Aramaic and lived with people who spoke Hebrew and Aramaic? Where do you get that from?
There are sources that are around that time. There's many sources. Don't just say the Bible.
I didn't say anything.
So
what sources tell you that Jesus spoke Aramaic?
The Jews of that time spoke Aramaic.
What source do you have that says Jesus spoke Aramaic? Remember, the Jews were everywhere. They were all over the place. They were in Arabia. They were in Egypt. They were all over the place. What tells you?
I don't think that matters though. Like regardless, let's say he spoke Chinese. I don't think it matters.
Oh, it does.
I don't think it matters.
Oh, it matters.
Why does it matter?
Because what matters is you just said that everything you know about Jesus comes from the Quran. But yet you just gave me some information about Jesus that doesn't come from the Quran. Yet you stated it as fact. So wherever you're getting this from, you're relying on it as your historical fact on the life of Jesus, at least in this aspect. So what source is that, Liam, that tells you that Jesus spoke Aramaic?
Bro, you're going to say there's only two phrases in the Bible that he ever uses that were quote unquote Aramaic. Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani, and Abba. That's the only two things that you're saying.
So are you saying?
I can say hola. I can say como estas. I can say y tú. I can say different things. But does that mean I speak Spanish?
So just here's the question.
That's why I feel like it's not relevant.
Well, here's the question.
Of the matter of what.
So what source tells you that he spoke Aramaic? You're close. You're so hot, man. You're right there.
You're saying that like only one thing says it.
I'm only asking you, what's the source? What is it? Just say it so we can move on.
Bro, I just said there's only two phrases. It doesn't say Jesus spoke Aramaic. It said he said in this language, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani. Okay, sure.
So the Bible demonstrates that Jesus
I can
spoke
say
Aramaic?
things, and
So is the source the Bible?
it makes a claim that he said something, but
Is the source the Bible?
But I don't believe that he said that. I don't believe he said, my God, where have you forsaken me? I don't even believe he said that. So that's not my
trying
source.
to jump out the pot. Stop it.
He never got crucified, so I don't even accept that.
No worries, Habibi. Stop. Hey, stop trying to jump out the pot. So if you don't accept that as your source for Jesus speaking Aramaic, what is your source?
It's not relevant. It's
not relevant, ladies and gentlemen. It's not relevant when my man here, Liam, says that everything that I know about Jesus comes from the Quran. And as soon as I ask him one question about Jesus that he doesn't get from the Quran, all of it falls. Now, all of a sudden, it's irrelevant. Do you see
I'm not saying,
the hypocrisy?
Okay, I'm not saying that I know 100% for sure what language he spoke.
Really?
Because Allah didn't tell us that in the Quran.
Then why in the world did you say Aramaic and Hebrew?
I said that was claims that were made about him.
That's not what you said. You said he spoke.
I just said that was claims.
Wait. You didn't say that. When I asked you, you said he spoke the language of his people at the time, which was Hebrew and Aramaic. Those are your exact words. If you want to rewatch this, it's on YouTube. You can rewind it. You said that exactly. So you didn't say, oh, this is what people say he might have
That would be my
spoken.
educated guess. Okay, that would be my educated guess.
All right.
I don't know
you
for
have
sure.
You have an educated guess that Jesus spoke Aramaic and Hebrew. Based on what source is this education coming from?
The language that the Hebrews wrote at that time. What do you mean?
How do you know that Jesus was living in a time where he would have been speaking Aramaic and Hebrew? And how do you know that Jesus himself spoke the language? Because just because he lives around people who speak it doesn't mean that he's speaking it himself. What is your evidence, your source that he spoke it himself?
Just because somebody makes a claim, that doesn't validate the Bible, though. Is what I'm trying. That doesn't validate it.
Hey, stay in the.
If I made a book and I said God Logic spoke the language of his people at that time.
Hey, stay in the pot. What's your source for your educated guess?
Bro, you're doing too much with that, bro.
Just wait. What's your source?
Bro, I just made an educated guess.
Okay.
I'm not saying I know 100% sure. I do not know.
So
That's simple. I do not know.
I got you. So do you see how? Let me just ask you this. Let me just forget that then. Let me ask you this. Where did Jesus preach?
To the people of Beni Israel.
I said where, not to who. Where?
You're trying to ask me all biblical questions.
No, I'm just asking you basic questions on Jesus, like the language he spoke. I think that's a basic question. Where he preached. I think that's a basic question. Where did he preach? Because your Quran says that he preached the gospel. Your Quran says that. Where did he do that?
I don't know, and it's not relevant. I don't know 100%.
You know, all right. What's your educated guess?
According, if I'm using, I don't know.
Do you have an educated guess?
Nope.
So you had an educated guess on the language he spoke, but you don't have an educated guess on where he preached?
The people of Beni Israel, they were. What do you mean? They was in that area? Okay, sure.
What area?
That was the claim. That's
what
something,
area?
That's something that was been claimed. That's something that's been claimed.
What area were they in?
Bro, okay, according to your book, it says they were in one area.
Whoa. Don't. My book is unreliable, remember? What area were they in?
Bro, it's not relevant.
It's not relevant.
The question is what's relevant is what is he preaching?
It's not.
What was he teaching?
Relevant,
wherever he's at, what was he teaching?
All right, I'll give you another one. You know what? Forget it. Forget what he spoke. Forget where he preached. Who are his disciples?
What do you mean? They were Muslims.
Who were they? Matter of fact, you don't even got to tell me all of them. Give me one name.
Bro, anyways.
You said you know everything about Jesus from the Quran. Give me one name of his disciple.
Bro, all of the important information of Jesus is through the Quran. Okay.
All of the important you know what? Okay, you got me. You got me there. All of the important information about Jesus is in the Quran. How did he pray?
Yes.
How did he pray?
He prays like a Muslim. That's simple.
Show me.
He said, I indeed am a Muslim.
Show me how he prayed.
However Allah willed him to do. Allahu alam. I don't know. Allah knows best.
Wait, you don't think it's important to know how your Messiah
speak
prayed?
on what I do not know. I do not know.
Don't you think it's important to know how your Messiah prayed and how he probably taught how to pray? You don't think that's important?
When he comes back, he will pray like a Muslim.
When he comes back, he will pray like a Muslim. But when he was here on earth, how did he pray?
I can only assume that he prayed like a Muslim.
You can only assume that he prayed like a Muslim. So no answer to that, huh? No answer to that important question.
It's not relevant.
It's not relevant.
Okay. How did Adam pray?
Wait.
How did Adam pray?
It's not relevant how Jesus, the Messiah, prayed and taught how to pray. But just a few seconds ago, you said that you know everything about Jesus and you know it from the Quran. So do you see how, really, with basic questions, you don't know nothing about Jesus? You don't know what he preached, where he preached, how he preached, to who he preached to specifically. You don't know who his disciples were, if he chose his disciples, how he chose them, who they were, what did they preach. You don't know none of that, yet he trusted them to do it. You don't know none of that. You don't know how he prayed, how he taught to pray. Wait, you know what? Here's another question. Did Jesus fast?
Wait, time out. I can ask you this about literally any prophet in the Bible.
Did he fast?
He was a Muslim. He did exactly what God wanted him to do.
Did he fast?
Bro, you're asking me for a biography on his whole life.
But you said you know everything about. You said you know everything about Jesus, and you know it from the Quran.
I didn't say I know everything about.
You said
Jesus.
you know. Yeah, you did. You said everything. You know about
I've never made that claim. Okay. Not once.
All right, let me not misrepresent you. You said that you know about Jesus, and the information you know about Jesus is from the Quran. And then when we tested that, you said, well, the important things I know about Jesus are from the Quran. But the important things like how he prayed, don't know that. What about his fasting? Did he fast?
That's what you subjectively believe is more important than another thing. Allah revealed was what's important to the people.
Oh, so now what's important is subjective. So when we bring up things, you can subjectively decide whether what I bring up is important or not, so that you can use that as your scapegoat. Do you see what's happening here?
Okay, now you just put me through a whole questioning. Okay, tell me, what language did Adam speak? This was the very first person that was created in your Bible.
To prove a point.
Okay,
to prove a point.
What language?
The Bible doesn't say. The Bible doesn't say. You see, I did this to prove to you a point that. Now, notice. Let me show you the reverse with me and Adam. Everything that I know about Adam comes from the Bible. Whatever's not mentioned about Adam in the Bible, I don't know nothing about. You see how I did that? I rely on the Bible. You claim to not rely on the Bible, but you think you know things about Jesus. You get what I'm saying? But yet the things that you say that you know about Jesus comes from the Bible, like him speaking Aramaic, for example, or him living in a time and a place where people spoke Hebrew and Aramaic. That all comes from the Bible, not your Quran, not your Hadith. So, do you see the difference here? I'm being consistent with my position while you're not.
Okay. And I'm consistent with that view. Like I said, I don't know. I can only make an educated guess on what
you can't make
consensus.
You can't make any educated consensus. Consensus on by who's the consensus?
Within tafsir. Whenever they're certain within tafsir, they'll speak on things or they'll expound on different things.
They disagreed on Jesus a lot, on the language he spoke or whatever. They disagreed. They had different opinions. But here's the thing: when it comes to tafsir,
so they have different opinions. Where
would they have gotten it from? Where would they have gotten it from that he would have spoken Hebrew or Aramaic? Some of them denied that he spoke Aramaic and only spoke Hebrew. But where would they get this information from? That he spoke Hebrew or Aramaic? Where did they get that from?
They would get it from the Jews.
They would get it from the Jews. Where are the Jews getting it from?
What do you mean?
Where would the Jews be getting it from? What language Jesus spoke?
They have their own commentaries.
And where do their commentaries get it from? What's their source?
I don't know.
See, all of this just to avoid acknowledging that the source is the Bible. All of that. All of that just to avoid saying, all right, Logic. All right, Avery. It's enough. I give up. You're right. You know, even though I didn't say
so you're saying the Muslims. Wait, so you're saying the Muslims.
The Bible.
Wait, so you're saying the Muslims that wrote Tafsir, you're saying their source was the Bible?
Oh yeah, a lot of their sources come from the Bible. Their information about Jesus, the Jews, the previous prophets, a lot they take from the Bible a lot, actually.
Okay.
I'll actually, you know what? I'll do a fun session. I'll do an entire YouTube. I might do a live stream. I'll make it a live stream so we can go deep into it, and I'll show you the tafsir that are pulling from the Bible for their commentary in Islam. I'll show you that. It's actually an interesting subject. So look, this is how we got here. We got here because we were comparing Muhammad and Paul, and we were seeing the double standard from our friend Liam here of his accusations against Paul. But if they're turned on Muhammad, then Muhammad's also an unreliable false prophet. You see how this goes, man? So if you're going to say that Paul is false and unreliable, you have to say the same thing about Muhammad. Okay?
Paul, wait.
Okay.
But Paul claimed to be a liar.
Paul claimed to be a liar.
Yes.
Paul claimed to be a liar. So whoever lies
Yes.
is a false messenger. Is that right?
He claimed himself that he was a liar.
So whoever lies is a false messenger. Is that right?
He claimed that that was his character.
So
If being a liar is your character.
So whoever lies is a false messenger. Is that correct? Go ahead, say yes.
I'm not saying that a person,
If Paul is a liar, is he a
anybody
false?
can lie. Anybody can lie. We're all humans. But I'm saying being a liar
Uh-huh.
and that being your character
What do
is
you
not the same thing
what do you call
as someone falling.
What do you call someone who has lied?
What do you mean?
What do you call someone who tells lies?
It depends on the case.
And Liam, this is where I got.
There's a such thing.
I'm gonna move on from here, man. I'm gonna move on from here. I do appreciate you coming up, man. It was fun. I'm gonna let the next guest come up, okay?
Okay, but there's a such thing as a white lie, and you telling lies, like bold-faced lies. There's a difference.
Got you. I got you. But you have a good day, man. Thanks for coming.
All right, bro.
All right. Woo! Man, what do you do with that? That was fun. I'm not gonna lie. Liam made that fun. He was a good sport about everything. He made that fun.